Hello everyone and welcome. Today we will take a review of all the features ForeFlight has introduced in the past year. This presentation will give a short introduction into ForeFlight and the mobile app for customers who have not yet touched the app. The biggest part is an overview over all new introduced and improved features and functions. After a short outlook, we are open for questions and answers. Before we begin, some housekeeping items. You can ask questions via the GoToWebinar message panel. Don't worry, if your question isn't answered during that session, we will respond via email. This session is recorded and we will follow up with a link to access it. Now let's get started. Who is ForeFlight? Founded in 2007, ForeFlight published the first aviation app for iPhone and iPad in 2008. It's headquartered in Houston, Texas, with offices in Austin, Texas, Portland, Maine, and an European office in Odense, Denmark. Remarkable is that more than half of our 200 employees are pilots by themselves. ForeFlight subscription is broken into 3 different levels: Basic Plus, Pro Plus, and Performance Plus. Please have a look at www.foreflight.com/pricing to look for differences between the subscription levels. The navigation data for IFR and VFR flying are included in all subscription levels. The ForeFlight mobile app is organized into a number of tabs and views that provide different features, capabilities, and information. The demonstrated features differ depending from your purchase subscription level. First, the airport view provides all the information you'll need about the airport. That includes frequencies, airport thumbnail diagrams, taxi diagrams, terminal procedures, service provider details, fuel prices, and terminal area weather for over 20,000 airports worldwide. Buttons located on the Airports View menu bar will help you find airports near the current airport, find airports near your current position, display the airport's location in the Maps view, and add or remove an airport to your favorites list. The Charts or Plates view is a convenient location to download and access procedure charts and airport diagrams. Instrument pilots use their procedures differently in the air when on the ground. Often you will view an arrival, approach, and then taxi diagram, all without needing to return to a chart or an airport directory in between. The Plates view is designed to account for the way you use procedures while you're flying. The Plates view provides access to approach plates, taxiway diagrams, and arrival and departure procedures. This view enables you to organize the plates in the way that makes the most sense to you and streamlines your access to each procedure. Documents is where you can keep important documents organized either by download from the catalog or importing your own documents like aircraft manuals for easy access. The Documents view lets you download, import, view, and annotate PDF, images, Word, Excel, and text documents. When Sync is activated for your account, documents, annotations, bookmarks, binders, and the document's position in a binder are synced across all of your devices and are backed up to the ForeFlight cloud. Beginning with ForeFlight Mobile 11.3, documents are available on the iPhone, and document titles are included in ForeFlight's unified app search, so you can easily find and view documents from other app views. The Imagery provides static forecast products for many regions around the world. When viewing, a current thumbnail image is shown for each available image. Full-size images are displayed full screen and support standard pinch and expand zooming and panning touch gestures. The Flights view provides a quick way to plan, brief, and file a flight plan. Flight plans can be filed for departures from minutes in the future up to days in advance. The top-to-bottom workflow follows a logical progression from inputting airports, selecting an aircraft and performance profile, defining a route and altitude, and filing the flight plan. Plans created on the Flights page can also be sent to the Maps page for graphical review, and routes can still be sent from the Maps page to Flights to create and file a flight plan and to get a briefing. ForeFlight customers who have purchased a Performance Plus or Business Performance subscription can also use high-fidelity aircraft performance profiles to quickly and accurately plan their flights, including takeoff and landing performance, passenger numbers, baggage, and fuel. Take in-flight notes using a free-form drawing, typing, and grid templates in ScratchPads, or use our built-in templates to more easily record structured information like an ATIS broadcast. ScratchPad lets you choose from 6 different ScratchPad templates to quickly record useful information. Any changes you make to a ScratchPad are automatically synced to other iPad devices signed into your accounts. ScratchPads are not yet available on iPhones. The More view provides access to important features and settings, such as downloads, aircraft profiles, mass and balance, checklists, logbook, track logs, application settings, JPEG links, and more. The year 2019 was an exciting year for ForeFlight and our customer base. We continued to develop new features and add more data to the ForeFlight mobile app. As the European region was clear in the focus, we have added many more European data. The ForeFlight ecosystem covers known ARP data from 41 European countries, from Greenland in the northwest to Turkey in the southeast. Under More Downloads and Europe, you can select the data types and countries you need for your planned flights. That granular selection lets you also manage the storage on iPads with limited capacity. Data are automatically updated each 28 days or more often when important updates are available. Based on the Jeppesen IFR and VFR navigation data and the Jeppesen terrain data, we published some improvements to the Maps view in the ForeFlight mobile app. Beginning in ForeFlight mobile version 11.9, the high-resolution Basemap depicts ground features and cultural elements in much greater detail for improved in-flight reference. As with high-resolution terrain, you can enable the high-resolution Basemap for different regions around the world in More and Downloads. ForeFlight Mobile automatically enables and downloads the high-resolution Basemap for your subscribed regions. That picture shows an area using the old Basemap, and you can see the improvements over the previous Basemap include forests, higher resolution roads and railroads, more detailed coastlines and rivers, and new terrain peak markers with associated altitudes. When you zoom into the new high-resolution Basemap, more and more details appear. The European airspace is complex and rich of different areas, and having all of them on the map at the same time can extend the time you need to get the information about you need in the current situation. The Hide Airspace Above feature allows you to remove airspaces above a specified altitude from the map's view. With the aeronautical layer selected, tap the Maps setting button, then tap Airspace to select whether airspace above a certain altitude is hidden. Values of 500 or more are treated as feet. Values from 5 to 499 are treated as flight level. So 6.5 is expanded to 6,500, 320 is expanded to 320,000. If you are in flight and climb to within 1,000 feet of hidden airspace along your route, the hidden airspace will automatically be displayed. The Hide Airspace Above value is also shown in the reminder box in the lower right of your Maps page. Here put in 9,900 feet to hide all airspaces starting at flight level 100. Automatic airspace highlighting highlights airspace what the planned route will be intersect based on the selected aircraft's climb, cruise and descent profile, or your current in-flight track. Airspace within an altitude of plus minus 1,000 feet of the planned altitude and within a 1 nautical mile corridor of your planned route or flight is highlighted, while other airspace along the route is visible but dimmed to reduce clutter. In flight, airspace up to 50 nautical miles ahead of the current track, also within the plus minus 1,000 feet of current altitude and within a 1 nautical mile corridors is highlighted. To meet the needs of our European customers, we introduced two new information layers in the ForeFlight mobile app. One for the general aviation weather forecast and another one for graphical NOTAMs. The general aviation weather forecast layer displays color-coded GAFOR indexes in regions for Germany and GAFOR routes for Switzerland, Austria, Slovenia and Croatia. GAFOR is updated multiple times a day, but is not available later at night. During that time, selecting the layer will display hash marks and data not available. Tap on a GAFOR icon to see the index, time periods and additional weather information, like the reference altitude for that region or route, the cloud base height in feet, and the visibility in kilometers. Also important weather information are displayed. Graphical NOTAMs are available for most of Europe and Turkey. NOTAMs are color-coded based on type and severity, with airspace and obstacle notices in gray, or scheduled exercises in range and restricted or danger areas in red. Active danger areas or restricted areas will be shown in orange 2 hours in advance of the activity time and will be shown in red when active. Where possible, the NOTAM's exact shape is displayed. Graphical NOTAMs are automatically downloaded when you pack for a flight, so you can access them without an internet connection. A variety of charts and map types are available. To change which map is displayed, tap the layer selector in the top left. Tap a chart or map name to display it. Beginning with version 11.9, the drop-down now allows you to toggle multiple map layers in a row without having to reopen the layer selector each time by enabling the new multiple selection settings at the bottom of the map settings menu. Once enabled, the layer selector remains open until you tap elsewhere on the screen, so you can quickly toggle as many layers as you want. In areas where multiple map layers overlap, a single tap now brings up a map info pop-up with details about each item in that area. Tap one of the items from the list to view additional information. In this example, the NOTAM information about an unmanned aircraft area is selected at the same time as a GAFOR layer. When additional information layers are selected, you can tap on the timestamp on the top left corner of the maps view to get information about the update times for each selected information layer. Map annotations allow you to write and draw directly on the maps view for easier note-taking on the fly. Tap the annotation button on the left sidebar to enter drawing mode and use one finger to draw, and use two fingers to move the map without adding new annotations. Map annotations remain on the map until cleared and automatically scale as you zoom out and in. To clear map annotations, tap the Annotations button. Then tap the Clear button at the right of the top Annotations menu to clear all annotations of the map, or tap Undo or Redo to remove or re-add the latest annotations. In 2019, some more new features are introduced. Airport 3D View provides a dynamic three-dimensional preview of the airport environment, combining high-resolution terrain data and aerial imagery to help you familiarize yourself with the airport environment before arrival. Selectable runway buttons in the upper right allow you to visualize straight-in approaches by automatically positioning the camera 1 nautical mile from the runway threshold along the published glide scope. Use a single finger to pan the view around and the two-finger pinch to zoom the view out to up to 15 nautical miles from the airport. When airport metadata is available, a windsock icon appears over the selected runway icon in the lower left. The 3D review can now be accessed anywhere on Earth. With the Performance Plus or Business Performance subscription, hold on the map, then tap the 3D button in the top right of the Add to Route pop-up to see a realistic view of that location, combining high-resolution terrain and area imagery. Let's plan a short flight and see what more came to the ForeFlight mobile app in 2019. Here we plan a flight from an airport in northern Germany by selecting the airport icon and tapping on Add to Route. After selecting the planned destination airport, we can immediately see a red note. If any runway or airport closure NOTAMs are in effect for an airport, ForeFlight will display a prominent red banner across the view and let you know about it. Tap the NOTAM banner to directly view the NOTAMs. Here we can see that the grass runway is closed until the end of February 2020. As we plan to land on the asphalt runway, we can go on with using that airport as our destination. Tap on the Add to Route again, and you can see the magenta route line between departure and destination airport. Open the FPL window, and if airport or runway closure NOTAMs exist for an airport in your route, it is indicated by a red warning icon on the airport's route bubble. Tap on the bubble and choose View Air Alert NOTAM for the airport to see the NOTAMs. That's the same runway closure NOTAMs, of course. That way of information gives you a pretty fast way about to get information about airport and runway closures. Tap on the departure or destination airport bubble and choose Select Runway to open the runway selection pop-up. Also here the closed grass runway is shown, including the link to the NOTAM. We select the runway 25, the asphalt runway. When you choose a runway, that runway is then highlighted on the Maps page. At the destination airport with blue chevrons on the runway and white chevrons extending out from the runway centerline, and at the destination airport with an extended blue line with white chevrons leading to the runway centerline. Breadcrumbs are an extension of the track log capability, but operate independently to display thin green line indicating your aircraft's path since takeoff. When switched on in Maps and Settings, the breadcrumbs trail automatically activates on takeoff and ends when you land. The breadcrumbs can be set in more settings to persist for 15 minutes up to 4 hours after landing, so that you can review the path after your flight. The ForeFlight mobile app provides several radar information layers. Outside the US, the composite radar layer must be used. Radar requires an active internet connection or ADS-B in receiver to receive ADS-B weather if available. Selecting radar in flight without one of these will display diagonal hash marks with the message radar not available across the map. Clear the hash marks and message by deselecting the radar layer using the Maps drop-down. Beginning with ForeFlight Mobile 11.10, the limits of internet radar coverage can now be shown with radar not available and can be selected on or off in the map setting. Gray shaded hash marks across the screen show areas without coverage on the map. The display updates dynamically to reflect radar provider outages. We also introduced improvements for other parts of the app. Beginning in ForeFlight Mobile version 11.3, document titles are included in ForeFlight's unified app search, so you can easily find and view documents from other app views. A new concept of drives and binders was introduced to make the document access easier. Also introduced with ForeFlight 11.3, documents are now available on the iPhone as well. And the iPhone attitude indicator in the synthetic vision display, also introduced in 2019, is always full screen and does not include the tapes for ground speed, GPS rate of climb, GPS altitude, or the ground track compass circle. However, you can display the instrument panel at the bottom of the iPhone screen and choose instruments like GPS altitude, ground speed, etc. Please keep in mind, the ForeFlight attitude indicator and synthetic vision display is for informational purposes only. Do not use the ForeFlight synthetic vision display as a primary instrument in any phase of flight. Something small for the flight planning. A small but helpful improvement is the option to search for flights using an aircraft call sign. That example shows all flights planned with an aircraft Delta Echo Mike Oscar. Integrated takeoff and landing performance calculations are now included in Performance Plus subscriptions. The calculations incorporate aircraft performance and weather data, as well as the pilot and the safety factor to calculate important flight metrics such as takeoff roll, approach speed, and so on, and help pilots ensure they are within the aircraft's and runway limits. Available is the performance calculation for over 260 popular piston and single-engine turboprop aircraft, with more planned in the future. Simply tap on Runway and select the runway based on the wind components. The takeoff performance is automatically calculated based on the vendor's aircraft's flight manual, weather and planned load, for safety reasons at a safety distance factor that can be used to adjust the calculated performance. Here you can see the outcome for this Piper Archer 3. A new introduced feature for IFR pilots is the Alternate Advisor. Tap in the Alternate field to open the Alternate Advisor, and the Alternate Advisor gives you a list of suggested possible alternate airports based on a number of criteria such as time and fuel requirements to reach the alternate, forecast weather conditions, available approach procedures, and whether you have previously selected that airport as an alternate on flights with the same destination. Be sure to check alternate minimums for the selected airport before filing. Pilots using a performance plan can also select an international template that some operators may prefer for international flights. As before, you can open the Navlog by tapping on the Navlog icon on top of the flight screen. In the top right corner, you can adjust the setting for the Navlog by tapping on the small gear icon. The international template includes additional space for note-taking, including ATIS information, clearances, as well as in-flight actuals and remarks. While viewing the Navlog, tap. If you have ForeFlight Performance Plus or Business Performance, you can now attach files, documents and photos to a flight plan for easy in-flight access and improved organization. A new icon becomes visible in the flight's view. Tap the Files button at the top of the screen to attach files from your camera or iPhoto library, iOS Files app, or ForeFlight's Documents view. You can also import files via AirDrop, drag and drop from apps and slide overviews, or attach ScratchPads from the ScratchPad view. Flight supports images, PDFs, Microsoft Word, Excel and PowerPoint files, and many more. You can annotate attached files while viewing them in flights, rename an open file by tapping the Edit button, or send the file to other apps using the Send to button and iOS Share Sheet. Files added to a flight sync between all of your mobile devices so you can access them from your iPad or iPhone. 3D Review is a powerful flight planning and debriefing tool that allows you to review the path of a planned or recorded flight, with aerial imagery overlaid over higher resolution 3D terrain. Access 3D Review by tapping the 3D button in the Flight Plan editor in the Maps view, in a Logbook entry, in the Flights view, or above the graph within a track log. You can use it to prepare for an upcoming flight by familiarizing yourself with the landmarks and ground features along your planned route, and you can replay a past flight with pitch and bank data. 3D Review is included in ForeFlight performance plans. And if you have a Performance Plus subscription plan, the enhanced approach procedure markers will show the initial approach fix and final approach fix with unique icons, and the waypoint labels include the crossing speed and altitude restrictions for each point when flying a procedure. Open the Procedure Advisor by tapping on Procedures in the FPL window and select an approach procedure. In that case, it's ILS Yankee for runway 27 left. Add the initial approach fix, and the complete procedure will be added to your route line. You can see the altitude markers plus initial and final approach fixes shown on the map. They stay visible also if you hide the approach plate. Some more features in relation to safety and comfort are introduced during the past year. After setting up and editing a new checklist so that it matches your POH, using it is very straightforward. Tap into a checklist and then tap onto a list to start using it. Now you can have the checklist read aloud, or you can read each entry and tap to acknowledge. To have the checklist read aloud, tap the blue Speak button.
External power, if applicable, connect. Brakes, hold. BAT master switches, on, check volts. Strobe lights, on. Mixture, full rich.
Traffic information helps to improve safety in flight and avoid mid-airs or near misses. Beginning with the ForeFlight Mobile version 10.0, ForeFlight Mobile provides an extension of the industry standard GDL90 protocol to connect third-party devices to transmit ADS-B weather and traffic information. ForeFlight Mobile 11.5 and later now supports additional displaying FLAM traffic information from the Avionics Sky Echo 2 device. Viewing FLAM traffic in ForeFlight Mobile from that device requires an app-specific FLAM decoding license, which can be purchased as an add-on on our ForeFlight webpage. Beginning with ForeFlight Mobile 11.7, ForeFlight Mobile can display also FLAM traffic information delivered via the NMEA protocol. An adapter is required to convert that NMEA data into a format that can be received by the iPad. So users or customers using an existing PowerFLAM receiver can now show that traffic on the ForeFlight mobile app as well. A traffic alert pop-up will be displayed if your aircraft is moving at over 40 knots and an ADS-B or FLAM traffic target comes within 108 nautical miles horizontally and plus or minus 1,200 feet vertically to your aircraft's position. The pop-up includes clock direction relative to your aircraft's current track and relative altitude information to help you locate the target more quickly. If ForeFlight detects that your aircraft is equipped with an ADS-B out, an audio alert will also be issued with the same information as a visual app via Bluetooth to your headset or on Bluetooth audio panel. Please keep in mind, traffic alerts are advisory in nature and are not a replacement for See and Avoid or ATC traffic advisories. As an extension to the synthetic vision, traffic is also shown in their current position in that 3D view to give you a realistic idea about their current position of the traffic. The Logbook feature lets you track your hours, currency, ratings, endorsements, medical certificates, and more across all your devices. It is included in the Basic, Pro, and Performance Plus subscription plans. We put some improvements into the settings sections. You can adjust the entry of time format. Please select between decimal or hours and minutes. The total time can automatically calculate it from hops, tach, block, flight or duty time. And for each flight you can predefine your role. Finally, you can add more information to a recorded flight. Logbook can automatically suggest adding pictures taken during the time of the flight to the logbook entry. Track logging records details about your flight, including track and altitude using any compatible GPS. Track logs are synchronized across your devices using Sync. The Graphical track log view is a new full-screen interactive view of a saved track log. Tap a track log to open the Graphical track log view. The top of the Graphical view shows a map of the track log that can be panned and zoomed. The bottom shows a timeline-based graph with selectable information including altitude, speed, and if your track log was recorded with an HRS-capable device like a Sentry with pitch and bank. When viewing a track log, you can use two fingers to pinch zoom inside the graph, or one finger to scrub to left to right in the graph to focus on different areas of the track log. If you have a performance plan, tap the 3D button to open a 3D review of a track log. Switch between the first person and the third person views using the buttons to the lower left of the screen and use one finger to pan the view. ForeFlight Passenger is a free companion app to ForeFlight Mobile that helps answer your passengers' age-old question: are we there yet? The Passenger app is downloaded separately from the Apple App Store. Passenger mode is available in ForeFlight Mobile version 11.2 and later. To activate Passenger mode, first make sure that your iPads or iPhone's Wi-Fi is on, and that Wi-Fi is also on the devices used by your passengers. Tap on the Send To icon in the Maps view and select Passenger from the choice. The current plan is automatically sent to the passenger device. If multiple copies of ForeFlight Mobile have enabled Passenger mode, individual copies of Passenger can select from which pilot they receive updates. The latest update for the Passenger app is the option to see the destination weather. We are actively building and integrating more features from the Jeppesen Mobile Flight Deck VFR product into the ForeFlight Mobile app to fully support VFR flying in Europe. Here's a small selection of things we are working on. That includes all the airspace alerts, more improvements or further improvements to the Aeronautical Map, enhanced Basemap, and an expanded Jeppesen VFR navigation data. If you like to learn more, please have a look to the Pilot's Guide to the ForeFlight Mobile app under Documents, Catalog ForeFlight in your app, or you can watch videos on our web page. Latest information can be found in blog.foreflight.com. And finally, you can drop an email. We have a great email support from our pilot support team, who is based across the globe. We are happy to help with any question you may have. If you are interested, don't hesitate to start your free trial today under www.foreflight.com/30dayeurope. That's the presentation part, and we will now continue with answering the questions. And as always, we had a lot of questions again. So let's start with the earliest one. Does ForeFlight plan to implement Garmin's database concierge functionality for updating navigation databases in the avionics? So as far as I know, there is a vendor log by Garmin for that functionality. And of course, we are partnering with Garmin, so you can send flight plans to Garmin avionics and get information out of the avionics. So yeah, at the moment, we don't have that functionality. We will pass that request to the team, and yeah, we will see what happens. A lot of questions about map layout and the functionality of Jeppesen Mobile Flight Deck VFR. Yeah, so Jeppesen Mobile Flight Deck VFR was sunsetted until end of last year. It's still active, but it's no longer developed. So you can still download data until mid of March. And so what we did in the past is we brought the map data, the navigation data, from the Jeppesen Mobile Flight Deck VFR into the ForeFlight Mobile app. And when you zoom into the app, you see the same data, the same functionality. You can see the traffic pattern, you can see the airport details, you can see facilities on ground, the airspaces. Keep in mind that ForeFlight is using the ICAO color scheme for displaying the airspaces instead of the Jeppesen color scheme. To make it easier to read, we mentioned it already in some other webcasts. Please set the map theme to light theme and the terrain to shaded, and then I think you see all the details you are asking for. Is there an auto zoom functionality available? No, auto zoom is not yet available. Also, that request is on our list, and yeah, to a given time, we will see if it's coming to the app. Can ForeFlight use output from an air data computer to provide Windsor-Loft? What you can get in the ForeFlight mobile apps, you can ADS-B weather where it is available. Last year, there are some test installations in Friedrichshafen or in Denmark where you could get ADS-B weather information via an ADS-B receiver. And another source for in-flight weather is the Goltz ADL device. So that's an Goltz Engineering is an engineering office developed in Iridium that receiver for getting weather information in flight. That data can be shown in ForeFlight as well. If you have a air data computer, you need a way to send the data to the ForeFlight mobile app. Usually these data has to be the GDL90 protocol. If the data are sent to the app, you can use them. Please check our website, our support center, and look for ForeFlight Connect to see all the options we provide for different external devices. Some questions for Mark. Good to have you on the call today. About African coverage. Will be imagery for Africa available, and will South Africa? So that's one question. So of course we plan to extend our coverage, and there will be plans to provide also weather imagery for Africa, but I can't provide a specific date for that. Are users able to file flight plans in South Africa? Yes. So South Africa and Namibia are open for flight plan filing VFR and IFR. If you don't travel, if you have trouble filing flight plans, please drop an email to team@foreflight.com, and our colleagues can show what happens. Sorry, some technical questions. Where can I find takeoff and landing time? So that the takeoff and landing time is automatically recorded in the ForeFlight mobile app, and you can see takeoff and landing times in the logbook. During a flight, a draft for that flight is created, and you can check the times in that draft, and if everything is okay, you can add photos, you can add more information, and then you can approve the flight, and then the times are added to your logbook. The traffic pattern altitude is written quite small in the map. Can I magnify it? Yes, of course. If you open the map settings in the screen, by tapping on the small gear icon, there is a slider with a small t on the left side and a large T on the right side. T stands for text. And by moving that slider, you can adjust it for a good text size, what fits your device and your personal needs. Okay, a lot of thank yous. Okay, pleasure to me. So I created the IFR flight plan that starts at flight level 90 and lighter and climb at flight level 180. In the profile view, I can only see the profile flight level 90 with a warning of less altitude in the Alps. Even the flight plan shows a climb. How can I fix it? So the flight plan has the step up, and if you see into the Navlog, you can see the change in the altitude. So the altitude change is not yet provided in the profile view, but that's also on the short time roadmap. Okay, again, questions about mobile flight deck VFR weather forecast information. Yeah, we are having a look onto that data, talking to the companies who provided the data, and yeah, that's also something we are working on. So a lot of things to do. Keep in mind also this year, we will have 12 updates, 12 new releases in the ForeFlight mobile app. And you can be sure that many of your requests are fulfilled with new updates. So on that point, I would say thank you for listening. Questions, there are some more, so I have to read about it first. So we will answer unanswered questions via email. And yeah, thank you for listening. The call is recorded, and you can download or watch it again on www.foreflight.com/support/webinars. Yeah, thank you for listening, and have a nice evening. Bye.